Welcome back on June, Friday the 13th. I didn't even have to look today's date up because I kind of remember people talking about it being Friday the 13th. Actually, I think it was my Monopoly slots. They come up with all these different ways to try to trick you into buying coins. Like, oh, there's a Friday the 13th deal. Woo woo! So what's different? What's different this week? Well, I feel like I'm in like the lead of Legally Blonde the musical, because I'm like, oh my god, you guys! You know, what is different? Well, our plans. The Hannibal trip is canceled. One of us ran out of time off. I won't say who, but it wasn't me, and it wasn't Sean. Somebody ran out of time off, so, and they're not going to have enough built up by next month to be able to do the Hannibal trip. So, I made the suggestion that just so that the weekend wasn't a total wash, I'm like, why don't we just go to the city, you know, maybe find a cool place to eat that we haven't eaten at before, you know, or just like do something up in the city. Because I did a video on the Nelson Atkins when we went there, because that's when Goofy Dude actually met us. He met us up there. So I suggested that, because I know there's art galleries up there in the city. We didn't see the giant cocks when we were there at the Nelson Atkins. They were somewhere outside. I think Mary Lee's mom went with us on that. There's a couple, like, I know Mary Lee, maybe Sean was there with us, but, you know, Goofy Dude and I were hanging out, so we were kind of off doing our own thing, and he was molesting pillars, from what I recall. So I was like, well, we can see what the Nelson Atkins has, and Mary Lee suggested Union Station, and then I was like, well, you know, I thought of the Steamboat Arabia Museum. That would be Hannibal themed, so I suggested that, and so far, Sean and Mary Lee seem to be in agreements with that. Yeah. So, and then because Mary Lee had mentioned Union Station, I'm like, they have a streetcar up there in Kansas City that takes you around, and so we could go to Union Station and park there. It'd probably be a lot easier to park at Union Station, I would think. I don't know if it costs anything, but we could ride the streetcar into, because the Steamboat Arabia Museum is in River City Market, so we could ride the streetcar from Union Station to River City Market. There's probably places to eat there at River City Market we could look up, thinking about it. I mean, I know we went to Pigwitch that one time on our way back from somewhere and met Kelsey and Kavian. But, so yes, the plans for next month have changed yet again. I feel like I think this started as a St. Louis trip, because we saw something on TikTok. Mary Lee saw something on TikTok, and then we went, oh, let's go see that. And then it became a Springfield trip, and maybe a Branson trip, and then maybe a Villisca, Iowa trip to go see the Axe Murder House, and then Hannibal. And now let's just go to the city. Because, you know, it's kind of like, it kind of sucked to, you know, have the plans completely canceled, when I'm like, we could just, I mean, you know, we can just go to the city, and just kind of have a day out. If we're not going to have a weekend out, we can have a day out. You know, and so that's different. Unless that ends up getting canceled too. Unless you just, I've taken some time off. I took off, I believe, the Thursday before, and the next Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I'll definitely at least keep, I might just keep all the days and just, I mean, I'd still have to go to Parks and Rec, probably, unless it rained, which it has done a lot in the last couple weeks. So there's been days I haven't been going to work for Parks and Rec. But I don't know if I mentioned that I did apply for, because I've been thinking about taking on a third part-time job on the weekends, and I did apply for Hy-Vee. They were looking for a stalker, but I was immediately turned down for that, probably because my availability was only on the weekends. But now Walgreens is looking for a part-time associate, temporary. For some reason, they're looking for temporary associate. That usually is the thing that happens around Christmas time. But it could be because the college students are gone, and that was most of their workforce. They're looking for temporary summer help until the students get back. Maybe, I don't know. But they did not give me the opportunity to say I wanted to only work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So my availability looks much more wide open than it actually is. So if they do end up picking me and, contacting me about a possible position, then we have to have the conversation about, well, I'm only really looking to work on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, you could select times, like what times are you available during the week, like the entire week. And it's kind of like, well, I mean, technically on Friday I would be available. I unselected the morning, but I did select, afternoon, evening. I don't think they do overnight, but I went ahead and selected it anyway, just in case. And then, of course, on the weekends, Sunday I wouldn't be available overnight, but, so we'll see how that goes. That's kind of like, the two jobs are helping me, like, kind of keep my head above water, whatever. But then it's like I want to get ahead at some point. It would be so nice to just get ahead and feel like I'm getting somewhere with all, with my debt and whatnot. Just get like one loan paid off would be nice. But it tits what it tits. Something else different this week is I got a chance at, speaking of Parks and Rec and mowing, because that's why I haven't been going to Parks and Rec, is because it's been raining and there hasn't been like today we ended up only working 3 hours. Only worked till 11, but we were able to get in between the rains and mow stuff. But I usually drive a Hustler, but for some reason that one started acting weird the other day out at West Park. It was mowing along just fine, and then all of a sudden, like, it did the thing where it was like it ran out of gas, and I needed to switch it to the other tank, because it has 2 separate tanks on it, and you just flip a little switch. So I just thought it ran out of gas. But then when I, switched it, and then it was doing the same thing. It was like trying to sputter, it was trying to die, it was like slowing down. And I thought, I was like, well, maybe it's never happened before, but I was like, maybe the grass is getting too thick. So, because like when I backed up, it would be, and I just sat there for a minute, it would like speed back up, like, it's getting bogged down or something. Then I like cleaned out underneath it, and Charles came over, and he was like, is it giving you trouble or whatever? So I told him what I was doing with it, and he's like, well, if it keeps doing what it's doing, just go ahead and get it to the truck so that we could, get it on the trailer and get it back to the shop before it like completely died and it was just abandoned out there in the middle of the field, So I reached underneath there and was like pulling out grass and as much as I could grab underneath there, and then I started up again and it kept doing the same shit. So I'm like, I guess I'll get it to the trailer before it completely dies and gets abandoned out here in the middle of the field. So it was like speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, and it's like, so I don't know what's going on with it. So I got to work with the Skag this week some, and so that's been interesting. Trying to, and it's the deck on it is wider, and I keep forgetting that. Like today, I was trying to get in between, and I ended up making it, and it was fine. I tried to get in between. There's this little path up by the skate park that is like in between the fence and the parking. I don't the parking barrier things in the parking lot. And because you kind of got to go at an L, you kind of got to go in there like this and then turn and go. And I'm like, I realized I was on the Skag and not the Hustler, and I'm like, I hope I fit. And I did, luckily. But so yeah, I kind of keep forgetting that. It's working with new technology, and the steering or whatever is a little bit like tighter and jankier sort of. The Hustler was pretty smooth with moving the two little doodly daddies, but this one it's like it's very touchy, and I'm trying to like not like if you hit it, like we were out at the soccer field the first day with it, and it's like when I hit a bump it would like kind of do like that, but then I would like try to course correct myself and it would be like instead of like a very smooth little like turn, so it's like I would have to course correct my course correct, and it's like so the steering on it is very very much tighter, and I don't know if I like that part of it or not. And like I said, it's wider. I have to try to remember that when I'm going through all these little spots that I used to go through with the Hustler with no problem. It's kind of like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't go that way. So I've been kind of... and I guess I can show you that picture because I reported it. We were at the soccer field, I said the other day, and I was going around the soccer nets just fine. And there was one kind of way out in the corner or whatever, and I was trying to get up underneath a tree branch, and like I said, the Skag deck is wider, and I'm not used to that, and it definitely wasn't because that was my first day on it. I've been trying to be more mindful of that, but like I said, I got myself in that position today where I was in between the fence and the and I'm like, I hope I can make that turn to get out of here at the end, because there's kind of a spot, I don't know, it's like a little walkway or something. I'm like, I can fit out that with the Hustler, hopefully I can fit out with that with the Skag. But yeah, there was a couple branches hanging down, and I was trying to like push those out of my way, and I was paying more attention to the tree branches than how close to the soccer net I was getting, and that Skag sucked that sucker right in there. That's what ended up happening. Because that used to be all the way to the kind of like this is right here. Oops. Well, there's the other picture. But yeah, like, so yeah, the net used to be all the way down here to the bottom, and it might have even been attached. I don't know. But that Skag sucked it right in. So yeah, it was there was like nothing left of that side of the net. Whoops. Oh well. I reported it. I told I want to say Marilee, but that's not right. Mallory, because she's kind of second in command while Gabe's not there. From my understanding of the way things are. So I reported it to her, and she's like, "You're good," because Gabe always likes it when things are reported. He just wants to know, is what he says, if there's an incident. So they know about it. It's not like I'm giving away trade secrets or anything. So that's been interesting, fun. I feel like my arms are like, because I think I'm gripping it tighter and like, because I'm, you know, so it's kind of like my arms are like more sore because, you know, I've been like tense the whole time I've been driving the fucking thing, but, you know, whatever, because I have a picture to show you, and actually an extra bonus, a little bonus video at the end. But yes, we were out at Blind Boone Park the other day, and there's this, like, it's a ditch. It's a very deep ditch, and I don't know that this picture really shows off how deep this ditch is. I call it a ravine. But so I was like, I was being very careful, and of course it's been raining a lot, so there's been mud, and it's been kind of, there's been a few times where I've like slid on things, and I'm like, I don't want to slide off right into this ravine, especially when it's like, I you know, like trying to course correct, I might fuck myself up. So I was like, I was trying not to get too close to the edge, but here's the picture of the ravine. I don't believe I've ever done a video out at Blind Boone Park. I think I mentioned it before a couple times when I've been out there mowing, but I don't know if you can tell quite how deep that is from. I mean, maybe it's kind of like the Grand Canyon. You can't really tell, and you know, you don't understand the scope of it until you're there. That's what I've heard people say. But it's pretty deep in there. So it's not something you'd want to slide off into the sunset. No, slide off into the, you know, with the mower, definitely. So I was like, because there's kind of this tree that I usually swoop around, and some of them I skipped. I'm like, I'm not going on the other side of that tree. Out at the dog park the other day with the skag, I was like, am I gonna fit in between there and there? And I'm like, I did, because there's like this light pole or something, and then there's the curb, you know, and I was like, am I gonna fit? And I did. So it's like I've been too brave probably a few times. Obviously, if I sucked up the soccer net. But I lost it. I lost that thought entirely. Oh, about, like, you know, correcting with the skag. Yeah, it's kind of like I was worried I was gonna. There was a tree that I was like, because it's very close to that ravine, and I'm like, am I gonna fit with the skag? This is a terrible idea. I probably shouldn't try this, but I did anyway, and it went okay. It went fine. Obviously, I'm not in a ditch. I was not in a ditch. They did not have to come retrieve me. But at one point, somebody had thrown a. I don't think it was this part of the ditch. I don't believe it was this part of the ravine, but somebody had thrown a hot water heater down in there, and there was still plenty of room, and and there. Yeah, I don't know if you can. I don't know if this picture does it justice, but it's pretty deep in there. But it's nice. It's pretty, you know. And it goes by. Speaking of, you know. Well, I was talking about the streetcar, and I was talking about Union Station. The trains go right by there, and I actually have a video that I will put at the end of this video, to a little clip that I took of the train going by, one of the trains going by. The Amtrak did come by later while we were there, but the Amtrak is so short, it's like I knew by the time I got my phone out to film it, it was going to be gone, and it was. So, but the Amtrak did actually go by a little bit later after this clip that I will put at the end of the video for y'all to check out, to look at. I even turned the mower off so that you could hear the train and hear the, you know, you wouldn't just hear, you know, with the mower. But, yeah, that's what's different here on Friday the 13th. Bless you. Yes? Okay. opinions as always. But speaking of opinions, I believe that's all. And here, I'm about to forget, I even set it over here by myself. Thanks to my cousin Barb, by the way, if you're watching, hello Barb, thank you for my gift that she gave me, because it was my uncle's party last weekend. I went to my uncle's party. Had a good time, ate some good food, you know. But thanks to my cousin Barb, we are now prepared for Advent Event 2025. I guess she found this in her, they like to go to the little digging bins place. So she found this, and so now I believe we are ready for, it's taped shut. I haven't opened it to see exactly what's in there, but I assume there's, how many days is an Advent calendar? It's 24, right? Oh, that's kind of cool. Barb, did you know there's a raccoon on one of these? If you're watching. Oh, don't open it. Don't open it. It has all these little boxes in there. And one of them has a raccoon on it. So, we will find that out. Oops. I gotta get the tape back on there. So, I didn't even look at it. Yeah, 24. I see 24. Jack Bauer, 24. So we'll just leave that closed for now. So yes, we are ready for Advent Event 2025 already. So thank you, Barb. But I will switch out Advent Event 2025 for 99 non-lame journaling prompts to see what this week's question is. So, all right, flip the page, flip the script, flip me off. We'll do like that. Okay, this week's question. If you could find the cure to one disease, what would it be and why? If you could find the cure to one disease, what would it be and why? Well, it's not 2020, so I guess, I mean, COVID-19 wouldn't be a good choice, just to get us through all that bullshit. Just picking one is kind of odd. I mean, I feel like the two big ones would be like cancer and AIDS, but I feel like they've really. I mean, I don't really know for sure about AIDS. I know they just had the nurses' ball on General Hospital, and they always talk about how there's been strides in, you know, in AIDS research, and how, you know, like it's not a death sentence like it used to be, you know, before they understood it and could combat what, you know, what it was. But I also kind of feel like there's been strides in cancer research too. Am I forgetting a big disease? I know. I mean, I know people still have the bracelets like "fuck cancer." You know, that's kind of the one that I feel like they still don't fully understand, and I mean, it can. I mean, it seems like if you catch it early enough, a lot of times, you know, it's not as much of a death sentence, but that could be said about anything, I suppose. Early detection, whatever. So maybe I would go with cancer, I guess, because that's one, you know, that, I mean, even if you maybe some kind of cure, like even if you catch it late, you know, you can take this pill and you'll be fine. You know, it doesn't have to be early detection or anything. And there's all different kinds of cancer. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's the same cancer. It's just kind of, it's not really different if it's in different parts of the body. Like, you know, my grandfather had pancreatic cancer. There's, breast cancer. There's, I don't even know, liver cancer, brain cancer, all these other different. I guess maybe it's the same cancer. It's just in a different part of the body, so they call it something different. I don't think it like reacts differently. I don't know. I don't really know. But I guess just in case, cancer in general, just to eradicate it, no matter what. And I guess, I don't know if this is true or not, but I guess I feel like more people come, I guess because there's so many different places it can go in the body or whatever, like I feel like more people get cancer than get AIDS, I guess. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like I hear more about people having cancer than, because like AIDS doesn't just happen, right? Like you have to be affected by a person who is infected or something. Like cancer just seems to happen. It just seems to grow for whatever reason. Like you could be going along fine one day, like have nothing wrong with you, and all of a sudden you just like, oh, here's some cancer. Why not? Have a good day. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of seems like it comes out of nowhere for for whatever reason. I know a lot of people, they get it from being exposed to something like sunlight. That's skin cancer, another different kind of cancer. My grandfather also had that, I believe. He kept having to have pieces scooped off of him to get rid of the skin cancer, exposure to the sun. Was it cancer that they got, like being exposed to asbestos back in the day, or was that just like lung problems, lung issues, kind of thing? I don't really know. But yeah, I feel like like I said, AIDS, I think, if I understand correctly, and I may not, I may be uneducated, but it has to be, like, you have to be exposed to someone who has it. Whereas cancer, it can just kind of like, like the Dixie Chicks song, Hello, Mr. Heartache, you're back again, whatever. Or you just show up, here you are, hello, good day, So, but yeah, I feel like I hear more people getting, having this kind of cancer or that kind of cancer, I guess because it can affect so many different parts of the body, like I said, that, it would be, I guess, more handy to, like I said, from what I've heard, from what I understand, AIDS is no longer as much of a death sentence as it used to be. So I'm going to go with cancer, because fuck cancer. That's what they say. Minxie says fuck cancer too. Don't you? She does. Just so you know her stance on things. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's your question / update for the week. We always update before a question. And even though there wasn't much to update on, I feel like I talked for a very long time on that. But other than that, I've got to put this in Corel anyway, so if it splits this into two pieces, that'll be fine. Since I have to put in that clip of the train going by, it's like a quick 7-second clip or something. Oh my goodness. Come in? I don't think that was my door. I don't know. But anyway, yes, that's that for the week. And yeah, I may be falling back asleep because, like I said, I got home an hour early today and ate some food and passed out. And then I was like, okay, let me get up. And it's like, while I'm up, I'm like, let me answer my question. Give you the lowdown on what's been going on. Not a whole lot of anything. But other than that, yeah, maybe I'll do another random video this week. Who knows? I'm still waiting for the Mountain Dew Dragon Fruit. I even asked the Pepsi vendor this morning, and he said somebody else had just asked him about that, but he didn't know for sure when it would be coming in, because I've seen it online. It's been in other states, but not here, not yet. So we'll see about that. Maybe sometime soon. But other than that, I'm gonna get this processing in Corel with your little clippity clip that we have to add here at the end. Minxie is lovey-dovey. Have a good weekend, and I shall see everyone as Ian. Toot toot.